Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I'll be checking out a new track from Thornhill. It is called Hollywood, and it comes with the announcement of their upcoming album, Heroine, which will be out on June 3rd. So I will link the pre-orders, though when I post this, they won't be live. They're going live on March 10th, so I'll put the pre-orders in the description. I have done reactions for Casanova and Archangel. They are on the channel, so that is that. I am going to link the video I'll be reacting to as well as all of Thornhill's social media in the description, but other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it.
With lips against your face.
Thornhill, Hollywood. Let's discuss. At this point, I feel like the sound change isn't quite surprising. This feels pretty cohesive with the other two singles, but it does have its ways of differing, which I'll get into in a bit. It kind of starts off with that riff, like that main riff of the song reminds me of, I think it's the Casanova riff, but I can't remember exactly what I'm thinking of. But also just like that, the bass has a really nice presence in these newer singles, which is something I really like. With this track, so I don't want to make it sound like I dislike the style of the vocals on the other singles, because this track also uses the same vocals, first of all. But in the same way, I think that it's kind of what sets this back from being on repeat as much for me. Not this track specifically, but with Casanova, I think I would really say it's the style. It's not necessarily even the voice either, like the delivery or any of that. I think it's more of the stylistic choices production wise. Like, just Jacob has such a nice voice, and in most of the things I've heard him in, in Cherry, in older Thornhill, in any of their other releases, he has a very like clear presence. And at times I feel like with this track, I feel like it worked better for me because it also went outside of that, which is what I was kind of talking about before, where this feels a bit different as well, some of that layered stuff. And I'm not just talking about the unclean vocals either. For me, what really stuck out is some of that layered stuff, because in some of the harmonies, that sort of stuff is what you hear in Cherry. And instrumentally, this kind of reminded me too, like Cherry with a kick or something, because I loved the instrumentals all the way through, especially in the chorus and stuff. And as the song progresses as well, like, it gets to that part where it opens up and it's sort of vocalizing and stuff, but then when it kicks in, and just some of the timing as well, some of the progression in some of those, in the oh man, I don't know, I just really enjoy these instrumentals overall. And it's not even necessarily needing the track to go to a heavy place like this one did. I did really enjoy that part, though I do think for me I actually prefer the part where all that, those layered vocals are coming in, and instrumentally everything's kind of coming together. I think just vocally, for example, when the first time when he's singing Hollywood, I just wish it were a little bit more present or like brighter in the mix, because with his voice, like with Cherry and Thornhill in the clean vocals previously, like I bring up the isolated vocal version every time, but it's just very a big sound, and here it sounds kind of like, kind of buried, kind of hard to pick out on those lines. Like I could tell it was Hollywood was being said, but it was hard to kind of grab much else there. So just in those parts, I wish they were a bit more present. And I think like the first verse, that sort of style where it has that bit of attitude, I think that falls a little bit outside of my normal style. So that also might be like when it comes to Casanova, and that may be where it sort of falls off repeat value wise. But with this, I think this will be the one I listen to the most out of the three. I really like what I was saying about the vocals, just all the use of the layers, and there are parts where there are, some clean lines through there with his singing as well. As I mentioned, instrumentally too, it was really nice. So I like this, but I don't think that I quite love it. I'm not sure how much I'll be listening to it, and it may be one of those things where then like a week from now I'm like, it's at the top of my chart and I'm in love with it because it grew on me or whatever. Listening to this one, I would be most likely with this single, I feel, of the three that I've heard. Though I do quite like Archangel, and in a different way, not one I would be putting on repeat or anything, just sitting there listening to over and over again, but I keep that one in the mix. So for me, I'm liking these singles. I'm interested in the album. We'll definitely do a live stream. I'm excited to see how they'll expand on these sounds that they're coming up with, and I hope to see more of these like vocal layer sections like that, because I love that sound. And the instrumentals so for me, I don't want it to sound like I need them to be like, have screaming and stuff, but I hope they keep where they have at least like breakdowns instrumentally, because that sound is just so good with their guitar especially, because the bass presence is there in the, like how I was talking about with that first verse and everything, and it feels like those more open parts of the song, and the change in the sound, really, it kind of gives more of a chance for that. But I do like that, in this song you still get what you're looking for with the guitar, or at least what I'm looking for. But anyway, those are my thoughts on my first listen. I will do some more listening to this, and I will see how it goes revisit wise. But they have announced the album, so I was waiting for this to come out as it was dropping, and they hadn't put the album information on there yet. So it's now been announced. Heroine. It's going to be pre-orders on March 10th. So I'm going to put this up, I believe, on the 9th. So they won't be up quite yet, but I'm still going to put the link in there. So the album has been announced coming in June of this year. Like I said, we'll definitely do a live stream for it. In the intro, I said, you know, not sure, blah, blah. I may just make a new intro, actually. Who knows? You know, actually. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about all of this. I will link the video I reacted to as well as Thornhill's social media in the description of this video. Other than that, you can also find my link tree, which will have the Discord invite that I talk about in every single video. The Discord server is full of a bunch of my favorite people. We have a bunch of music-related conversation. We've got the Last FM stats, you know, a channel to share music videos and new music we find. Sometimes we listen to stuff together, that sort of stuff. And then we have a bunch of conversation unrelated to music as well. So if you're interested in coming to join, check the community out. That will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link. On Instagram, I do keep it all music related, whether it be on my story about new YouTube videos or my chart on Friday of the top 25, what I've listened to the most over the course of the week. Singles, EPs, albums, whatever I've been listening to, I post every Friday. And then I also post a lot of merch, sometimes about shows, concerts, if I have pictures, videos to share, that sort of stuff. So if you're interested, that will be there in the link tree, but my handle is the same as my YouTube channel. It is Rachel Reacts if you have any interest in following me. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.